underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth, we ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.
What up, man? It's your big brother, K-Reno.
And it's your boy, Key Stove.
Y'all are tuned in again to another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And tonight, y'all, you know what? Sometimes we have artists that everybody knows, and you can just, on facial recognition, they know who they are. Then you have other artists who you know, but you might not know, but you know them because they done been on stuff. They done worked with all of the artists you know, but somehow or another, they might have fell through the cracks and things happening. They didn't get the props that they deserve. But tonight, we sitting with a veteran female artist tonight who, in my opinion, falls in that category. Straight out of the great city of Austin, Texas. My homie, the one and only, Msdemeanor. What's going on, Queen?
What's going on? And thank y'all for having me on. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Yeah, it's all good. And I'm gonna say what I said when she first pulled up. She's a rhinestone cowgirl. She's a cowgirl. And what's so crazy, like, why is we all matching?
Oh, well, hey.
Because look, y'all can't see my pants and all. I mean, we close. I mean, I ain't saying this right. Yeah, I ain't saying this right on point. But
I ain't get the memo, but
yeah. And look, and I got that same shirt.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie PSK and Rocco. But
sure.
I worn that shirt with these pants before. So how you doing, sis? What's been going on with you?
I am good, blessed, and highly favored. Been working, took some time off.
Yeah.
Almost 2 decades off.
Man.
It's a long time to take off.
Yeah.
About 15 to 20 years, and can't get that time back. But hey, I'll pop back out like a raccoon.
Yeah, like a jack in the box. What made you take the time out? Well, first of all, before we get into that, let everybody know what your origins and your start is in the music business.
Well, I am from Austin, Texas, East Side. Hey, shout out East Side, 21 Texas. I actually started my career out with being on the Dirty Third, on a Thug Love with ESG and D-Gotti from Rec Shop, and then moving on to Zro's Life album on Will I Go Crazy.
Okay.
So that's how a lot of people know me from those songs. Texas classics. Didn't get a lot of face recognition like you said back then, but definitely the voice. Everybody know the song. So yeah.
No, that's dope.
I know the name too. Now that he said it, yeah.
Thank you.
So when you were doing that, give me like a timeline. Like, what are the years on that? Like early 2000s, mid 2000s.
As far as with Thug Love, I actually recorded that I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and March the 5th, he turned 25.
Okay.
Hey, Keith.
So that was 25 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when I actually wrote the verse and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant, whatever, and I said in the verse, I was pregnant at the time. So you talking about, that was 2000.
Yeah.
And then we go forward to 2002 when I did Life album.
Gotcha.
With a Zro.
Wow.
We talking about 25 years, 23 years.
So during that time frame, you just mentioned how you stepped away for a minute. And I know a lot of artists, they step away now. I ain't never seen nobody step away for 2 decades. But what made you say, what brought you to a point in the industry where you said, I got to fall back for a second?
Well, I had like a lot of personal issues going on, like with family, also like relationship wise. You get like the jealousy type of things, like with males, and I like touch on that. And
yeah, we gonna definitely,
I really like trying to cater to someone and their feelings and back off of my own career for 15, 20 years. And it was a big mistake because I can't get that time back.
Yeah.
Those are my youth years. But at the end of the day, I still have like my voice, my sound. I always be like, like with Pimp C, he got that same voice, you know what I'm saying? Too Short, he got that same voice. So I still got my same voice. So I think that I just kind of, when I backed off, my voice never really changed.
Sure.
So I can still just like pop back out and try to do it again. But I regret it. It was a big mistake.
You know what's crazy? It's like, it seems like women, female artists are the ones who go through that a lot, because a male artist, he gonna do what he do. If baby girl ain't fitting it, then she just gonna have to figure it out. But that had to be a tough situation, being in a relationship, because normally the thought process is, this person is supposed to support me. This person is supposed to back me up in my dream and my quest. So, and then for you to actually like adhere to it, to like, okay, all right, I'm gonna go on. That was some love, but
super love.
Yeah, but on your end, but it's tough when the other person ain't reciprocating that to make you feel, man.
It was times I remember, and me, Zro, Trey, we were all out on the road, and I was bringing along my like husband at the time, and one of them things that you always want to see, especially if you bringing somebody with you, for them to be like right there front and center. And I remember one show we did in Tyler, and that was just like the last show. He was like way in the back and just kind of rushing me to hurry up and get off stage. And that's heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying? Because I was really happy. I'm rapping in front of thousands of people. And to have the person that you actually supposed to dedicate your life to just standoffish like that, it was bad. So
was he ever an artist at any time? Or so he just was kind of just regular guy, just working like
yeah.
And because I've heard this story on several occasions. It's like, man, and it's tough because an industry person, normally people say, well, you in the game like me, I would expect you to understand. But a person who's not in the game, I really know that they wouldn't understand, because now as a female, you got people looking at you and liking you, and then you around other male, or it's a male-dominated industry, so I know jealousy and all that might have kicked in at some point and all that.
And it's so crazy because, to be honest, like right before that marriage, me and Trey, the Truth, was actually dating.
Right.
And he taught me a lot about like going in, like doing the in-stores. Was real supportive as far as like musician-wise, like trying to teach me and coach me and go through that. So I always respect him for that. And then when things didn't work out with that, I ended up getting married right after that. And that's when the support just went away.
Man.
And it really sucked. And like I said, that's time you can't get back. So like right now, like I'm playing catch up, and the industry sometimes it's forgiving, sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
so,
well, you don't let it dictate you. You dictate it.
And how's your the relationships that you still have that are good? How are they coming at you now that you're coming back into it?
Oh yeah, no. I literally just took a break from the relationships. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm focused on like getting myself.
So I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah, and I'm just like I went through a lot. I went through like deaths, losing my father, losing my grandmother, like all back to back, like people that actually love me unconditionally. So when I took those losses, that kind of, like, if I lost them people, then it doesn't really matter to me, to other people, because when you lose the most important people, that them other losses don't hurt as much. So it really, really, like, God did his big one on that. So it changed me a lot, and it helped me a lot, and I'm progressing, and like I'm thankful for it. Even though it hurt like it did, it changed me as a person, and it helped me.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole process, were you still writing and doing a little music on your own?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I wasn't
At all. You lost the whole love for it?
No, I literally just kind of was just like, I'm done with it. I'm an artist also, as far as like, I draw also. So I was doing like a lot of portraits and on businesses, doing murals at the time. So I draw also, but for the most part, I just kind of just backed up and went into like a little shell and just gave it up. Like, sometimes when you get broke down or beat down so much, like you lose that fight in you.
Yeah.
I lost that fight. To be honest, I lost that fight.
Yeah.
And then the stuff happened like with my father, and I was like taking care of him.
Yeah.
So then that was another battle. So it's like when I thought I was ready to come back to rapping, then that happened, and that was another like slap, and it beat me down, and it like you go into like a depression phase, and everybody say like you get into this funk to where you just like in a space to where you can't sometimes, and I just didn't.
Cause music for me is like it's like a family member. So to lose that, that's like a death in
It's a
itself.
death.
You know, it's like when you love it like that, you know. So that had to be a tough thing. The good thing about that is that one you can resurrect, you can't bring it back, because we had a conversation all the time in here about age in rap, and that don't mean nothing. You know, it don't mean nothing. So as long as you got the mind and the creativity and the will to want to keep doing it, then she's back. So when did you decide, hey, okay, you know what? I'm back. I'm finna jump back in these with this thing with 2 feet.
It's actually crazy you
2
saying
boots.
that because like
With 2 boots.
what them fans said.
Yeah.
I actually I had a friend, a partner that was out of Austin, 2-4 Razorback. He asked me to be on one of his songs, which is called Slumber Party. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. You know, I don't want to rap. I'm retired. I don't want to do it. And I ended up doing the song, you know what I'm saying? And then it kind of, I said, okay. I felt good. I'm like, okay. You still got it. You can do it. You know what I'm saying? So after that, it was more opportunities. Like I was on podcasts, doing more shows. People were messaging me. I started doing like more features and things like that. And I just kind of got back into my groove, and it's like therapeutic, like you said. It helped me in a lot of ways. So I felt like, okay.
And what year was that when you started kind of getting back in it? How long ago was that?
2025.
Oh, this year. Wow. It's
Last year.
Couple months.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
really like I had released like Big Old Facts or whatever in 2023. And it's like right when I came back on the scene, you have like the new generation, and they more like rah-rah, and like when you pop back out, I had like a lot of like kind of like backlash, or the new ones like, oh, you all go sit down somewhere, stop rapping, and they kind of like tried to bully me out of it. So I was just like, okay, I don't need this. I stepped back.
Yeah.
And then he came, and then I was like, okay, you know what? Forget it.
So who was saying that? Artists or
Trolls.
fans or trolls? Where was that coming from? Out of the crowd or on the internet or?
Internet trolls.
Okay.
New coming artists, which
Right.
was like the younger ones or whatever. And they were just like, you too old to be rapping. And like I literally like I hang with different people. I get insight from different people. So like South by Southwest, I sat down with like Gorilla Zoe or whatever, and I was just like, man, they ain't telling me don't be rapping. I'm old and this and that. And he was like, girl, don't listen to that.
Yeah, no
He
doubt
was just
about
like,
it.
no, ma'am. He was just
Yeah.
like, don't even listen to none of that. Just mash, like, because at the end of the day, it's like now, age don't matter. And at one point in the industry, I felt like they're like, okay, you have to be like a younger artist. You have to be young.
Yeah.
So you had artists lying about their age, actually, you know.
Yeah.
They were getting exposed for lying about their age, that were trying to rap or whatever. So it's just like now everybody's like,
Yeah, and that's only in rap. And like I
Exactly.
said, we talk about that all the time. We the only ones do that to each other, but you know, you can't let people interfere with what your passion is. Like, I don't care if I'm 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what. I can come out there and walk and, okay, everybody, y'all put your hands up. And
If it's jamming, and
Yeah.
it got a point, and
Yeah.
it's telling you something,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
And people sometimes they do that because they might have been intimidated, you know, because I've heard your songs, I've heard you spit, and I know how you get down. So a lot of times they'll try to say that to try to, let me get her out the way, let me remove the competition. You know, it's so many different ways that they can do that. So, but at the end of the day, you know, we glad you come back, because Keystone on my motto, I hate when rappers stop. I hate when they quit and give the game up. So that means that love was never gone in them times that you did stop. Not to get into the marriage part of whatever, but was that kind of did that contribute to the ending of the relationship? or they're just other factors? And you ain't got to mention what the factors was, but
A big part of it.
resentment, like
a big part of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm one of those people, like, I got a good heart. Like, a lot of people be like, man, I heard you on that wrong. You They think I'm just like that. But no, I'm just be like how I am now. And I feel like if a person got a passion, I'm never going to chastise them for their passion. And I'm always nurturing. I'm always supportive. So when a person don't do that, like, back for me, it was like a hurtful feeling. And I kind of just retreat because I don't want to, like, fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, anxiety, all them other things kick in. Like, I had 3 heart attacks, you know. And I can't allow myself to get upset. You know, so just retreated that way, and then proceeded to go on to another mistake, another, like, you know, bad situation that, you know, when people meet me. And the crazy part is the person, like, I just made a song, Domestic, and I'm talking about, like, the domestic abuse that I suffered, right? The person, like, oh my God, like, you like he just love you to death. Like, you his biggest artist, and he just worships you. And I'm just like, it's crazy because you a totally different person than that animal. He's an animal, I'm sorry. That's an animal. And he turned me on to a lot of your stuff. Actually, like, even going to Piranha Records, just like, man, he turned me on to a lot of your things. And I think that's the blessing in that part. Like, I could take that away from it. But you know.
You know, sometimes people, the art and the person can be the same, and sometimes it could be not. Sometimes what you appreciate and like can be different from how you move and all those different things, you know. So that's an unfortunate situation that happened like that, you know. Shout out to John at Piranha out there in Round Rock, since you did mention that. Now, so have you ever lived in Houston, or you been out that way all your life?
I actually moved here in 2006. So it was right after, like, Katrina happened. And when I lived down here, I was staying off Ella. And I was working at Harris County Toll Road Authority. One of the people sitting behind, like, when y'all running the little
when
thing.
you're pulling the thing.
You know, let's see.
You sitting in that little bitty booth. I throw a little 75 cents up and down. Oh, you like Keystone said, when I don't throw it, snap my picture around.
Yeah, I was sending them that, and so I worked there as, like, a little call center. And it was just a lot, like, happened, like, within that 6 months. Sometimes you talking about the people came from, like, Katrina. They was killing each other, like, over FEMA cars.
I remember.
One day we couldn't leave work because a dude had killed another dude on the sidewalk, like, for whatever reason. And then I was staying in these apartments on Ella, and it just so happened that this guy had killed this girl that was going to, like, TSU for breaking up with her, and he proceeded to, I guess, chop her up.
And barbecued her. Yeah, I remember
And
that.
so once that happened and they found her, like, in the dumpster of my apartment, I was like, I'm out of here. I am, like, my son was going to Clark. He was like 6. He's 25 now. I was like, I packed up my Taurus.
He's in a Taurus.
Got everything I could get.
You remember the exact car, like
it was ringing.
Wow.
I threw everything in there, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm out of here. I'm going back to Austin." And you know, I was dealing with, like, you know, some people that do music here back then on the north side, and they were just like, "Don't leave," but I was just like, "I got to go. I've seen enough in that 6 months where I got to go." But I really like Houston. I always consider this like a second home. I was actually getting ready to move back out here. Still considering it, but, like, maybe the outskirts, like Katy. I think it's more music opportunities here. I feel like I've already left, like, my footprint here. It's just like the face, like you was talking about. So
that's why I asked, had you ever lived out here, because I was going to ask you, how did you connect with a lot of the top Houston artists like that, being from out Austin way? How'd you land with the Zeros and the ESGs, the Trades, and these different people like that?
As far as when I did the Dirty Third, ESG and Rec Shop, they had a show like a block from my mom's house at Givens Park in Austin. And they were, like, in a circle rapping. You know, we used to get in them circles and rap back then. And you talking about, this is like 99. They was rapping, and my homegirl at the time, she was like, my little homegirl over there, she rapping like she tight. You know, tight was the word back then. She's
Yeah,
like, she
yeah.
tight.
still is. I still say
And
it.
oh yeah, all of y'all, she go harder than all of y'all, whatever. And I was so scared when she said it to them. And they was just like, I think it was No D, it was all of them out there, like Pimp Tight.
Mm-hmm.
They was just like, who heard like rap for her? So
Yeah.
I started rapping for them, and then they was just like, okay, well, we're doing this album for this movie soundtrack, The Dirty Third, and
Oh, okay.
we gonna have you come out there. So I went out there, and I was 6 months pregnant at the time. It took me like 10 minutes to write my verse on Thug Love.
Wow.
I wrote it. That happened, and then a couple of years later, I was sitting in my mom's yard on Springdale, and my friend Marvin had passed by with a guy named Chris Crawford from out here. He was Zero's manager at the time, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to do a song like with Zero?" And I listened to R&B, like I didn't even know who he was at the time, but I was just like, "Y'all come out there." So my friend drove me down here, and I just sat in the corner. They played the beat, and again wrote the verse in like 10, 15 minutes, and he went in there, did his verse, and he was like, where the girl gonna do the song? And they was like, that's her right there. He's like, how she gonna rap? She don't even talk.
Yeah.
And then I got in there, I did it, and that's what it was.
Wow, no, that's strong. That's that connects, but that represents the passion too, because it's people that's born and raised out here that didn't have the grind and to make those kind of connections and things of that nature. You got some Keystone?
Nah, I was agreeing. Cause I thought I always heard you remind me of Jewels, cause you know, like with the Chronic, all of those songs that you all know,
you
like,
never knew who was doing them. Yeah.
So when you gave me your name, I said, okay, damn, I know exactly who that is now.
Right.
I was gonna ask you this when you were saying about the Dirty Third. Do you know Workshop was right across the street?
When I pulled up here, I was like, this looks familiar.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, I think I haven't been on Msdemeanor since then.
Yeah.
And that was in 2099.
Wow.
And so we like 25 years later, and a lot of those people like me and E still like we be together a lot. Like on and off, he moved to Austin. I be around him for the most part a lot. We still close. The other ones, like might be like Facebook friends and stuff like that. I haven't really got a chance to like interact with them, but I still interact with him strong. I still interact with Lil Mario, 33rd, Lil Street.
He hit it with his movie name.
Like that's like my bestie. So just.
So did you ever sign with Rec Shop or any of the other labels out here? You just kind of just dipping in, working, doing things like the featuring and stuff like that.
Here comes the dirty part. No, I'm joking. So basically, like back then it was one of those things where I was young. So when I did like the Dirty Third, I was 19, finna turn 20. When I did Zero's album, I was 22. You didn't have like the paperwork type of stuff. Like everybody went like on a paperwork thing. I was going more off of faith back then. And I'm like, oh, you cool, you my buddy, you my friend. It's not the same to everybody. Like, okay, you my friend, but let's get this in writing. Didn't get my paperwork right. So I suffered from the getting your royalty stuff,
publishing and all that type of stuff.
Everything taken, and to this day, still not getting the royalties and everything. And they just recently in May of 2024, the Supreme Court changed it now to where you can go back and you can do all that copyright and get your royalties and things like that. So now I have to like go back into that. But I kind of like, it was one of them things I really trusted people a lot back then, being young. A lot of people just trying to get on songs and do stuff. Didn't know the business. I actually didn't even know I was on either of those albums until I pulled up at stores and heard people playing it and was like, hey, where did you get that from? And they're like, oh, that's over there at Music Mania. That's our Austin store, like for underground and stuff. And that's the way I found out I was on the Dirty Third and found out I was on Zero's album. And it was almost like a slap in the face, but I went right over there and I bought it. And I'm like, I'm on here. Like, I didn't think I should have to buy it, but I bought it. And it's one of them things like, I can respect it and appreciate the street fame you got from it, but at the end of the day,
that play out fast.
You play out fast.
Get some street fame. That's cool for 10 minutes. Hey man, ain't you such a? Yeah, that's me. Hey, can you sign it? But then after a month or two later, like, man, I don't know, pay this light bill, man.
Yeah.
This notice is pink.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I suffer. And just to be honest with y'all, it was times when I was doing shows, me, Zro, Trey, J-Town, all of us was on the road. And we had shows. We was doing like Tyler. We was up in like Dallas doing stuff. And at that time, like I was like literally in a battered women's shelter at the time.
Wow.
And I was leaving there like dressed up, like in my clothes. And I never told any of them, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm real independent and I'm real, like I'm on myself to where I don't bring other people into my problems. I'm not looking for like no handouts. I'm not looking for like no pity party.
I got you.
So when I was doing them shows, I'm getting up there in front of like thousands of fans, thousands of people. I'm getting up there like, oh my God, doing the songs. And I'm knowing when I leave that show that night, like I'm just like in jail, they call it a furlough. But at the shelter, you got to be back at a certain time. So I'm going to them shows. I'm like, hey, I need to do this show. They knew I rapped. I'm like, can you give me a pass for the weekend? But I know I got to be back by 9 o'clock or else they going to lock me out and I'm going to be sleeping outside under a bridge somewhere.
Wow.
And I never let any of them know that until more of like the present time. And they're like, dang, why you didn't say no? Well, people going to always say that. Why you didn't say that? I would have did this and would have did that. Well, I don't know you would have did this or would have did that. But at the end of the day, just for the love of the music and my gift, like I kept it going. Like I never let on to let them know that, hey, she going through this. The fans never knew. And at the end of the day, when they took me back to Austin, they didn't even know I was going back to a shelter. They never knew. But I was happy. I was still happy. I promise you I was.
Just loving the art, loving what your gift is. And seeing that it take a strong mind to be able to be dealing with that in your personal life and still have it in you to get out there with your music and your passion. Because, as from a man, we can't relate to that side, because we the dummies that's always doing it to the women, and then they have to deal with both of those sides of the game. So things like that. So how was you able to kind of rebuild and strengthen yourself from that domestic abuse to be able to pull yourself all the way back up? Because some women, they don't recover from it. And I mean, from a mental standpoint, because like you can recover from it to a degree in terms of, I got myself up, I'm working, I'm past that, but the scar is still there mentally. Yeah. But what's your advice to women who might be going through that to how to rebuild from that? Or still in it and don't want to leave it?
Yeah. Tools you use.
Just to be honest, and this is from like a spiritual standpoint, I had a friend, we were sitting down, we were having a conversation when my dad passed away. And then all of a sudden, like I was crying, like I was really distraught because me and my dad was really, really close. And I was just crying. And all of a sudden he just said to me, he was just like, well, your dad, like him and God made a deal that if he go with God and you lose the most important man in your life, then it'll be easy for you to let go of anyone after that. And he said that to me. And when he said it to me, even he was in shock. And I swear to y'all, the story, it always gave me chills because he got up, he said, I don't know why I just said that to you. Right. He said, he didn't even talk, he a thug. Like, so he's just like, I don't even talk like that.
But had a revelation of wisdom.
No, I think
God came through him. God came through him.
Say this, Negro.
Yeah, exactly.
And it scared me because he was just like, oh my God, I think your daddy was talking to me. But when he said that to me, it made a lot of sense to me because I was so hurt and angry that my dad left me and I really couldn't get over it. So when he said that to me, like he made a deal and that if you lose the most important man to you, then after that, it'll be easy for you to let go of any of them other ones. And I promise you, ever since that boy said that to me, since my daddy left me and then he said that to me, I swear, like a person blink at me wrong, do blink at me, I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
It's so easy now.
Yeah.
It's so easy because I did lose the most important person to me.
I want to ask you this too. This, I guess, is getting more. And a lot of times people will say, like, if there's a woman who's being abused or who's been abused, they might point to and say, well, she didn't have a father figure to kind of show her. That don't mean nothing, do it? Because the way you describing your father, that tell me like you could have a father who was an example, but you could still get caught up in a relationship.
Sometimes
like
you can
that.
get caught up holding on to the wrong thing you holding on, but you just be known to hold on.
Yeah.
And like, just in respect to like my dad, like I got him on my right hand because I'm like, that's my right hand man, and he gonna be with me for the rest of my life.
Fist too.
Right here.
But my daddy, he was a really active father. Me and him, he was like my most active parent. I'm talking about, I was a cheerleader, and he came to every football, every basketball game just to see me cheer. He wasn't even worried about the football, the basketball. He wanted to support me. When I ran track, he came. I had a cheerleader competition out here at the Astro Stadium when it was. And he took the cheerleaders, he took us all there. He was always with me, always by my side. We wake up in the morning, we drinking coffee. In the afternoon, we sipping beer. So we was doing. But that was all the way up until he got cancer just from stressing over me, like worried about me and what I was going through. But he was just the most active person. Like I it ain't nothing, I can't take nothing away from any of it other than I was upset he left me, you know what I'm saying? But I don't regret anything. And he showed me a lot, even working on cars. He always told me, I want to show you all this stuff so you don't never need a man. But it's hard changing the tires. It's like I can't do it because it's strenuous. But he alternators, fan belts. He's like, Poopy, I'm gonna show you. He called me Poopy. I'm gonna show you how to do all that. And he taught me everything. He said I didn't have a boy, so he
I understand.
You finna be a boy. And then
I was a boy.
Taught
this Poopy name. Where did that go from?
It came from him, and I don't know why he called me Poopy. I don't remember pooping, but he called me Poopy.
He flashing back to your diaper days.
There you go.
Yeah, he called me that. But yeah, so as far as like when people be like, "Oh, you going through this because you have a daddy and all that type of stuff," that it's not true.
That don't mean nothing. Yeah,
and
happen to anybody.
My dad, one thing that he always would tell me, he just like, like he tried to get me out the situation and would tell me like, what am I gonna do if like you die? Like, what am I gonna do then? So he stressed himself, and that's one thing I hate about all of that. But he came to my shows, he came to games. He was a very, very active father. We even got the same birthmark.
Oh, really?
Everything, same initial. So no, it's not that. It's really not that.
No, that's dope.
I think on my part, it was more like, I think maybe I was more missing like my maternal.
Okay.
And the maternal part is what made me try to substitute that with other people.
And so it went in reverse. It went opposite. Yeah, because it's always
the nurturing part. Because maternal is more nurturing.
Right.
So when you had them people and clowns come and they pretending to be
in the beginning,
that's what I missed. It was never the paternal part. It was the maternal.
Right. Wow, that's some good game. Well, we'll transition back over to the music side. Like, so you've been doing this a long time. Who were some of the rappers that you was inspired by when you was first starting out, male and female?
Well, I mean, female-wise, you had Salt and Pepper back then. That's when you had the Jerry Curl. I had Jerry Curl for the longest.
I had one too back in the early 80s.
Mine never took.
Yeah, mine ain't take neither. We put the kid on my head, but it just rolled out and then curled up a little bit, and it was dry.
Yeah, mine super dry.
Like
my cousin got what they call them pictures that they blackmail you with.
Yeah, my mama got it. Yeah, that's crazy.
With them old dry curls.
Yeah, so we had them curly kids back then. My mama kept mine juiced up, and I'm angry. That's child abuse, actually. But, it dirty up your shirt, and then you had to put the cap on back then. Break up all the juice in the bag.
Like on Coming to America.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
And you flammable.
Yeah. So Salt and Pepper, you had MC Light back then, Queen Latifah. I like
that
Moni
generation.
Love.
Oh yeah, Moni was
JJ Fad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Latrim.
I remember Latrim. I don't remember the song they had.
Boyfriend.
Okay.
You know that song.
Grab it, then grab it like you want.
Yeah.
Man, them was when we still had records back then.
Yeah.
We talking about the 80s.
So you from that era, no
I'm from
question
the 80s
about it.
era.
Yeah.
I was born in 1980 exactly.
Yeah.
So you talking about 85 through 90 or whatever. We had those people. I really, really admired them.
So when I hear you rap, I hear you be spitting, you say some real live stuff, but you be styles and spitting and aggression here and there when you want to do it. What are your feelings on female rap now? Because you have how the industry has made it so over sexualized and all that. What's your view on that? I don't care, I'm against it. How you look at that?
It's all marketing, it's all game or whatever. I myself, I'm I say I'm all over the place. Sometimes you don't catch me in Duke, sometimes you don't catch me in pants. I was in pants earlier, jumped in my little shorts, come in here. But I think more the new generation, I would say the respect. Not what you're wearing, but more the respect. I see a lot of disrespect toward the pioneers, the older artists, to where they just man, we you old folks, y'all need to go sit down, y'all need to do this, y'all need to, but everybody paved the way, you know what I'm saying? Mia X, I'm talking about Ghetto Twins. With me, I rap with all of them back then, and it was never no disrespect. Hey, I just want to do what y'all doing. I like y'all, y'all doing something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are women representing. Back then, it was only you had handful of people. Now it's saturated with females, but they don't look into the history. I don't think. It's one of those things with activists. They look into the history. You talking about Harriet Tubman, they looking into Benjamin Banneker, but the artists, the rap artists, they don't go back and look at their roots. Where did the female start from? What did they go through? It was a male dominated industry back then. So you had some mostly, I was a tomboy at first. So you had everybody was tomboyish. You either had to compromise your sexuality, and back down. You either gonna go with what we trying to do, or we not gonna sign you, we not gonna work with you. And people ask me all the time, they you could have made it further, what happened? It was just I wasn't gonna compromise myself.
Content mattered back then, because you were mentioning MC Light, Latifah, and all them. They was hard. They could rap. And when you have a female artist who is respected by the dudes, that's when it's because when we talk about the female artists that are around today, I don't judge or condemn any of them sisters for how they move, because I know who's the higher power that's above that, that's kind of making them. I ain't talking about God, I'm talking about the corporate CEO devils that's running and influencing them to be that way, or put that kind of content out. But guys are not gonna. I'm not gonna go out and purchase Sexy Red to jam for myself. I'm not gonna do it. Now Keystone might go buy.
I'm not doing it.
And there's no disrespect to Sexy Red. There's no disrespect to this or that. But we just are more rooted in how skillful you are, and that's because you take an artist like Rage, Lady of Rage. It's Lady of Rage come out, and I will go buy. I will go purchase that because it kind of falls into my wheelhouse of what I like to listen to.
I bought the Brat.
The Brat. That's another. People like that can rap. That can really rap, and I think we got to give these sisters time, just like the young dudes who give them time to grow up and kind of understand. And I see a lot of maturity in a lot of them, like Glorilla. They starting to kind of Megan. They starting to kind of get it.
Yeah.
But we just have to make sure that us as the older ones can kind of educate them on how the industry works and how the industry manipulates them. And when they can get past that, they'll understand, oh, this is why they want me to do that. You know, I ain't got to be 45 still twerking in the bikini on stage.
Yeah,
I don't have to do that.
I don't even, my back ain't set up.
I've transcended past that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What's the biggest challenge you've seen that you had to face or overcome coming back into this game? Like, because, you know, it's different. Before you left, it wasn't no internet, no social media,
I was just about
none
to
of
say
that stuff. K still in the, he still pack his CDs.
That's right.
So what was the major thing, like even with trolls, you know, what's the major thing you think you had that you got to get over?
It's a big difference. Like, we didn't have internet like back then when I first got started. And then you hop into the internet from going to like selling CDs out of your car, running up to people with CDs like, hey, can you buy this? And right in your face, they can be like, nah, I want to buy that. And you got to deal with that. Right now, you can hop behind the computer and be like, hey, you either buy it or you don't. So just getting back out there, the new tools we have as far as the internet is good. The trolls, they there. I think like that's just pretty much it. Just getting in the groove of like the internet and
is it easy for you?
not taking things as like personal, because you got to realize that these people don't really even know you.
Yeah.
A person can say anything. Like I can go make a fake page right there and be like, I don't like K Reno. I don't like him. You know, it's like me, I put like a lot of heart and passion, and I take a lot of things personally. I have been that person to where soon as somebody says, oh, you suck, stop rapping, you like, you know, whoop. And I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. And
these young whippersnappers.
Should I just stop? You know, I don't got time for this. My chest is getting tight. I can't deal with it. But at the end of the day, like they talked about Jesus. And I always, that's how I keep going, and that stuff, I don't worry about it. I try to do what makes me happy. We on borrowed time, and I am not finna let no troll and no other person like dictate how I live the rest of my life. If I say I want to rap at 44 and 45, that's what I want to do.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and we gotta always factor in the reason why people move like that, why trolls move like that. It's something going on with them.
Yeah, they just want a response.
They want a response, and some of them, their life is just so messed up, so miserable, so jacked up to where I need to make somebody feel like I'm feeling. You know, so we can't. I look at it as a trick. It's like, I ain't gonna fall for your trick. I see what you're trying to do. You know, like I do my live streams on my YouTube channel, and sometimes when I'm doing my lives, you know, I got fans on there, but every now and then a couple of trolls will jump in there as well. And if I'm speaking on a particular topic or we all vibing, the trick that they trying to make me fall for is to concentrate my energy on what they talking about, start addressing them and get all the way off track. Now I'm arguing with this clown. It's like, nah, you know, we just got to you block them and you move on. It's that simple. It's not worth the stress. But opinions are gonna come, negative and positive. But I tell people all the time, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. It's all about the ratio. So if you got 95% love, why should you care about the 5% hate? Who cares? You know, let them do it, because you can't stop it no way. You know, and the oldest, to me, the oldest artists are still some of the coldest artists. You know, so it's a lot that we can learn from each other. It's a lot we can learn from the young artists. A lot that they can learn from us. Yeah. So anything new you working on? You back in with 2 feet? What we expect to see coming?
I actually, I have like my street music still, so I came out with my song, Is You Cool? That's more like, you know, like streetwise. But I also I always call it like my right side. So I just had dropped my domestic violence song, which is called Domestic. It goes into depth about when I almost lost my life 6 years ago. I really, really love that song. I had a friend that was murdered like 2 months ago. Like only like a couple of days, like 2 days before she was going to get her protective order. She was murdered in Copper's Cove. So I have like the news clip at the end of that talking about that and just trying to put the word out more about domestic violence. I really take heart to that because like I told you, I went through that. I kind of kept it quiet for a little while, but then it was people that like knew about it. And then I had people that knew about it that tried to use it as a weapon against me, like, oh, you used to be beaten, and I kind of would cry and be like sad about it. But now it's like one of those things like, no, I'm gonna embrace that. That's a testimony. So let me go ahead and put that out there, like, yeah, I was beat, okay, but look where I'm at now.
You're on the other side.
It's not about where I was, it's where I am now.
Come on, and where you going?
And like I said, like from rapping, coming out the shelter rapping, like rapping now, being homeless, like, hey, it's all a testimony, and God don't put too much on us than He know that what we can deal with, and now I'm just trying to embrace that, and so like I had a domestic, I'm doing that right now, and that's what's on my heart.
Yeah,
You working with any certain type of producers, or you just mostly doing it yourself?
No, I have different producers I work with, like out of Texas, like New York, different ones. Like I'm embracing everybody. If somebody shoot me a beat, I'm like, hey, what can you do to this? Like, oh, okay, well, I can do something to it. I can't.
Right.
It's either hit or miss. Just like artists hit me up to like do songs. I might get some that hit me up to like do a booty song. Okay, well, if I'm not doing the booty stuff, then just pass that along. Go do it with somebody that's doing booty stuff. And
It's doing booty stuff.
yeah,
Right?
just I'm just like I can't like sometimes get into that. Like I'm not like a vulgar like speaking person, like talking about like ASS and I'm not that. And I just right now go with like what's on my heart, and the domestic violence stuff is on my heart. I do still have my other songs that is more catered to the streets or whatever, but I don't have any booty shaking stuff.
And it's good to have a female artist that can be like a voice for the domestic violence side, because I'm trying to think. I'm sure that
Eve.
people have made songs.
Eve and Faith.
Yeah,
that's one of me and my wife's favorite songs.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I love the first verse when she come in there. She said, "I don't even know you, but I kill you myself."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what she said. I don't even know you, and I hate you.
Yeah. See,
and I think that's one of the things. Like with this song, I just kept telling him, I was like, man, I can't even remember a song since then that
hit
talks
hard
about
like that.
that. And so I'm really like the entire song. I did it like from the heart. And it came out really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I've been getting like a lot, have people like wanting to put it in like movies and short films. We got like different domestic violence, groups, commercials, things that we're trying to get it into.
We need that.
Yeah.
So fast forwarding now from the times where you didn't know the business and you suffered a consequence from a business side because of that. What's the difference in the strength of your business hand now compared to then? You got a better handle on it now? You still learning, or of course we still learning, but you got a better handle on it now?
Learning, but I make sure I get everything like in black and white for the most part. I have my times like doing like podcasts. Like I reach out like people that I consider friends. I'm still gonna like get on there. If they want me to do a verse, I'm still gonna do it.
Right.
That I never like wavered away from that part. Like if I consider somebody a friend, I'm never gonna be like, hey, well, put this in black and white. I'm not.
Give me 10,000 and I got you.
Yeah, I still haven't, but I'm more aware of what things can happen from that. Sometimes you consider people like friends, and they backstab you, and it is what it is. But I believe in karma and God too.
Yeah.
So that's just how I am. I don't really. I still kind of move the same, but I understand like the consequences too. If I choose to trust is a big thing in this industry. And if you choose to trust a person, they backstab you, what can you do? It's just like anything in your life. But
yeah, you gotta be professional in terms of like it's like you said, it's not personal. I'm not telling you anything. I'm telling you to be personal. And sometimes, you know, business requires having hard conversations with people that you may just be an acquaintance. We was good 18 years ago, and like I'm moving different now, and because you got to deal with people saying, "Oh, you change, you think you all this now?" It's like, no, it's not that. It's like I done tightened up my business hands, so I can't do that because too many times it could be a situation where artists have rapped on this particular song just on the GP, and now the song done popped off, and I'm not protected, and I couldn't depend on any professional integrity from you to come back and say, "Hey, I know we didn't do nothing, but hey, you see the song popping, I got you."
Yeah.
It don't happen.
That. And that's one thing that still, I ain't gonna even lie, it bothers me to this day because people that I did trust back then, and I'm just like, we friends, like we sleeping in the same bed together, like we eating together, we traveling together. And then when you talking about we get millions of views, millions of fans come, and then now you a millionaire and I'm homeless, like, and so then I'm just like, but friend, I ain't asking for $1 million, but you wouldn't even give me a penny. You have not even said, "Hey, here go a penny," which would still be a slap in the face. Here go a nickel. You know, here go a dime, a quarter, nothing.
Yeah, not even.
So that means you wasn't my friend. You know what I'm saying? The whole time. And it's a slap in the face. And a lot of people like, how do you even keep rapping after you went through that? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I love it. It's a way, like, it's therapeutic, like I said, to get things in my head out, but it hurt too.
Yeah, I can imagine. You know, it's like the saying goes, you know, money don't necessarily change people; it just reveal who they always were, and in a lot of cases. But you know, you take them hits because you are telling a story that's going to be a testimony and a lesson for somebody else, you know, because there's so many artists, including me, you know, if we all go back to the money on the table that's been either left on the table by our own negligence or missed out on because somebody else got us. That's a common theme in this industry, but the beauty of it is that you learn from it. So, okay, so now it ain't gonna happen again.
Exactly.
And that's the key for it to not happen again, because some people get messed over repeatedly and it just becomes who they are. So you acquire the knowledge and the wisdom and the fortitude, because you can have all the knowledge you want. Some people are just scared to speak up for themselves, you know, so you got to have that fortitude.
You know, one thing I recognize it now, like I still to this day have people, like, once I kick that knowledge, be like, hey, I know what the business is. And they like, oh, well, I don't want to. Okay, well, then we ain't.
Look,
Then we
get it
ain't.
off top.
I say that, but see, that's the biggest blessing. That's what people got to understand. It's like your knowledge serves as a weapon and as a shield, because when there are people that are trying to figure out a way, I think I can exploit her. I think I can take advantage of her. When you start speaking, it's like raid to a roach. They like, oh no, she know too much. You know, she knows too much. I can't get her. We got to move on to the next one. And I've been through situations like that. You know, early on, you're not doing no paperwork. You're not doing nothing contractual. And then later on in life, you had those same conversations. You say, okay, well, yeah, all right, well, that's what's up, man. You either gonna say, well, let's draw something up and try to see or either you're gonna say, well, I'll have my manager to call you. That's how you get them off.
Yeah.
Because if they real, they're not gonna have a problem with you saying
They run
that.
immediately.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Like, as soon as you say, hey, well, let's get this. Well, hey, let me. And then when they back off, and I'm like, okay.
Call my manager. Here's his number.
Yeah.
They don't want no parts of that. So that's your blessing. You know, okay, you know, I never heard from him no more. Okay. Yeah, he was trying to get me because he don't want to deal with legitimate representation in business. He want to deal with that. You being from Austin, I say all the time, Austin is probably the city that I have performed in the second most behind Houston in my lifetime. I've been to Austin 8,253,719 times in my life, right? But Austin has a real rich music history. I mean, just even before South by Southwest and all that, that's just, you know, even before that, there was so many great artists to come out of Austin. I remember the Coolie Girls. Dank and all, yeah. See, those are OGs in Austin. They was coming to Houston in the late '80s doing shows with us. That's how we met them. And Nook, you know what I'm saying, and people like that. What's my guy name? Was Fatal. You know what I'm saying?
Fatal's in Atlanta, but yep.
Yeah, see, all of those like OGs and Bavu. And I'm just thinking about just people from all Dominican J, all of that. Yeah. So Austin got so many great artists that have come through there. Has there ever been like a unified effort to like, hey, let's tie Austin together, or is it more individualized? And
that's one of the things we're going through right now.
Yeah.
We just recently had like the Austin Hip Hop Awards, and it got like a lot of backlash on that because a lot of the pioneers, really nobody was included. I like had to pretty much just like, hey, well, what can I do? And they told me, well, you can come present an award, but they mostly had like the newer artists, they had like the newer DJs. And the crazy part about it is majority of the people that they gave awards to didn't even show up.
Wow.
And so then you had the people like pioneers, people, we all were there, like literally came to support, and we're there and didn't win an award, but we're there. We showed up to show support. So they got like a lot of backlash about that. It's one thing that I observe myself though. I'm just like, y'all gave these awards, and no disrespect to them because I still work with them. I'm still like cool with them. But the pioneers are upset because they're just like, y'all didn't even mention us. Y'all didn't ask us to at least be a part of the like the committee. Do any kind of part.
Who put it together? Because that has a lot to do a lot of times with how it's run. Was it a younger group, or it just okay? So so you either was younger or they were more caught up in dealing with people who were popping in the moment. Yeah. And then when that happens, then you neglect. But you can never do something like that without going to the root.
But it was people. I think that's what they're so like upset about it, because the people that put it on were people that came up with us.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about since like I was 14, 15. These were people that came up with me too.
Yeah.
So then why then you include everybody that we all came together and you just jump to them?
I remember somebody talking about that online, because I remember how they was talking about, and they brought up Dank. They was like, y'all disrespected. Y'all didn't even mention Dank. Y'all didn't show Miss Dank. No, they was mentioning the other. I remember that. That was it wasn't that long ago. About a year or so ago. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, and I remember that clearly. And so yeah, so that goes on a lot. I mean, but y'all didn't do it yourself. Yeah, or do it yourself.
Next year, I mean, because they still have like the same committee of people that's gonna do it, but we've had those conversations now. Like, hey man,
they know the error of their ways now.
But it should have never. The ball should have never been dropped
like that.
Like it's a respect thing. It's just like me. Had I got in position, and like, hey, Msdemeanor, we want you to run the Austin Hip Hop Award. I'm gonna immediately get the people that came with me. And start from the roots.
Yeah.
You can't have a tree without, you start from the roots. You can't just jump to the branches.
The branches just levitate.
Like you can't. And like I said, it's no disrespect, but then at the same time, it still was a slap in the face. Like real recognize real, and you have to understand that. Like I get it, because right now, like you have the generation, how they popping, how they're doing, and they moving the way they're moving, everybody on rah-rah, and you, but you can't. You can never just jump to that. Everybody needs to, you got to start from here and go up.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, no one can ever make, I don't care. They can't never make me change how I feel about that.
And y'all, no, rightfully so. And y'all set the example still by still showing up.
Exactly.
You know, still showing up. Yeah.
Still got them looks like, oh, you old, why you here? Like, but at the end of the day, like, this is Austin. You're talking about, you have, majority of us have like days, like they have like
the proclamation,
you know, proclamation, like mine is coming.
Yeah.
You have the proclamations, and when you're not even including those people that have solidified themselves in the history, in the roots of it, like what are you doing?
Yeah. That's tough.
And that's anywhere. That's not just Austin. That's in any city, anywhere. If you cannot disrespect the people, the pioneers, the legends, the people that came before you, because man, we took them lashes back then. We took them lashes.
Man, still taking them.
You know what I'm saying? Just because y'all putting on lashes now. Lashes.
Well, take them lashes off.
We took them real lashes. Yeah.
You know, but that's the thing that everything come full circle. So we always say all the time, if you are a younger artist that kind of moves like that in your thinking, your thought process, keep waking up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're going to have some little young cat calling you old and washed up and saying you should stop if you keep waking up, because the time goes by so fast.
It does.
And my 20s are vividly ingrained in my mind. Yeah, I appreciate that. I did not pay her. I did not pay her to say that. I don't want y'all thinking that.
No, you look the same though.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I can remember all of the moments from just my 23rd. I remember all that. You know, so the thing is, what I'm saying, it goes by fast. So to my young artists, don't take for granted and don't think that, okay, because you round here with a head full of hair today, that you might not be receding or ever looking like George Jefferson tomorrow.
They say
with a bunch of gray.
They say the worst thing about getting old is not getting old.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
So
come on.
Take it for what it's worth. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And the wisdom that an artist like yourself, just in this conversation, just imparting all this wisdom that old and young can learn from, because we should always look to those who have already done it to try to help us not make some of the same mistakes or bump our head the same way. And, you know, I was that dude that came in at 17, 18, I thought I knew everything. You couldn't tell me how the beat's supposed to be. You couldn't tell me how to do nothing, you know, but you learn fast, like, shut up, boy, you don't know nothing, you know, and you figure that type of stuff out. Well, give them your social, let them know where they can find you or anything else you might have that's going on. Let us know right now.
Okay, again, so I'm Msdemeanor on Facebook. You can find me at Msdemeanor Simpkins. That's MSDEMEANOR. And I got my government name at the end, SIMPKINS. Instagram is Msdemeanor, same spelling, _21. We have my Is You Cool song. Again, that's more one like my on the streets, Nuck If You Buck type of song, like rah-rah song. And then I have Domestic, which is, again, a pride and joy to me right now because I'm tapping into a more serious side dealing with domestic violence. But yeah, just represent Austin, Texas. Shout out to my whole team. We Make 'em Mad Entertainment, Rad.
we make 'em mad.
Yeah, We Make 'em Mad Entertainment. That's what we doing. But yeah, and I appreciate y'all for having me on, putting a face to the voice.
Right.
And a lot of people, they know them songs, but they didn't know the face to it. So
and run off some of those songs again real quick. Just some of the songs.
Thug Love with ESG, but I'm the one rapping on there.
Yeah.
Will I Go Crazy on Zro's Life album?
Okay.
You know, like I got beat up. It's me, you know, Msdemeanor. And regardless of how they tried to spell it and still the royalties, it's still me.
Yeah.
You know? But and I appreciate the decades of support. Like I said, you could put them songs up. They Texas classics. You got like millions of views on them. And I really appreciate it all. Like regardless of I didn't get the money on, like, you know, from the heart, like the street fame and the respect that I get out of doing it. I really appreciate it.
I got one last question for you. Because I hear you talk so much about the domestics. Is there any plans to maybe do like a 503, some kind of nonprofit for your domestic push, so you can have like the music and make a movement with it at the same time?
We working on it like right now. Like we went in as far as like started like getting apparel together for it, because you know Domestic Violence Month is officially in October, and I'm supposed to be traveling to Cali around that time. But just pushing as much as possible. I'm going out to Safe Place. That's a place out in Austin where I was a resident, unfortunately, like twice due to domestic violence. But just trying to get more resources out there. Domestic violence hotline. Just trying to help people like understand that you don't have to like stay in that predicament. It's really hard. It is really hard to get out of. I've seen multiple people die. You know, that's the only way out, but that's not the only way out.
Do you offer any kind of mentorship or any kind of like? Do you talk to people, like girls coming up with that?
I want to get into that. Like I said, this is all new. Like I'm vulnerable right now as far as like putting that out there. I literally had some people like trolls try to like basically troll me and bully me about being abused. Like, oh, we're gonna tell everybody you used to be beat on. Okay, well, let me tell them.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed of it. You know, like everybody go through something, and anybody that ain't been through it, like, thank God. Just thank God. I'm telling you, because man, people, wolves and sheep, you know, wolves and sheep's clothing, and you run into that. But you know, people reach out to me all the time, especially since I posted it now, like different women, like people hitting me up, you know, talking to me about like how they just escaped from it, and thank you for like posting my story and talking about it. So that's why I made the space for it's called When Enough Is Enough. That's my podcast that starts on May the 1st.
Okay.
Where people can just come, and not just women. I know men that are also being abused by wives. I have homeboys and men that have gone through it, you know. So it's not just one of them things. Domestic violence is not gender specific or race specific. So I try to get that out there to everybody. It does not discriminate against race or gender.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, I tell y'all what, man. Artist, OG, survivor. She's back. And she's a rhinestone cowgirl.
I'm sick of them.
Msdemeanor, appreciate you coming through, sis, and blessing us with the
turn
game
it to a felony.
and the knowledge.
See, I knew he was gonna come with that. It's okay. It's okay. He trolling me. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, well, you trained now. You know.
Fuck him.
Hit the block button. Push it. You see that thing on the shirt? Just push that as a block. It's gonna block it. He's gonna disappear. You know? Yeah. But we appreciate you coming through, sis. Number love. Y'all be sure to support. Follow on all the platforms and be looking out for the music, because you know, y'all already heard the message. Y'all be looking out for the music, and let's get her everything that she should have got
and more
25 years ago and more. It is what it is. Well, it's your big brother K Reno.
And it's your boy Key Stone.
It's the Underground Dialogue Podcast, and we are out.
And it's your big brother K Reno. Look, man, the Underground Dialogue website is back in function. We back in motion, man. If y'all want Underground Dialogue Podcast merch, whatever you need, go to undergrounddialogue.com and check us out. And always make sure that every Wednesday night y'all are checking out the Underground Dialogue Podcast right on YouTube, 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah! What's up, man? It's your big brother K Reno, and check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue Podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business, you can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue Podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. What up, man? It's your big brother K Reno. I'm proud to announce that I'm a new brand ambassador to this new brand of clothing and shoes called Volas. Y'all make sure that y'all support this. It's already available. Houston-based company, straight out the A's. Look at the quality of the packaging itself. We ain't even got to the shoes yet, man. And this is just one pair of shoes, one design. They got all kinds of dope designs of shoes that you guys can choose from. Go to volas.biz, find your order, find what you want. Wide selection to choose from, male and female items, and I'm proud to be a part of it, man. Community workers, versatile products, Volas, manufactured in Italy. Look at the quality of this box, man. Y'all don't know what it is, man. Catch y'all later.